You may never have heard of it, but you've likely been influenced by it. This little-known religion has inspired Voltaire, Nietzsche, and Freddy Mercury. George R.R. Martin based a Game of Thrones character on it. The car brand Mazda was named after its main god. Judaism, Christianity, and Islam have all been profoundly shaped by it, and yet only a very few people follow it today. We're talking about Zoroastrianism, arguably the world's oldest monotheistic religion. But what made it such an influential faith, and how did it shape the world? Zoroastrianism was founded by the prophet Zarathustra, or Zoroaster, as he's known in the West, around the 6th century BCE in ancient Persia, present-day Iran. The exact dates are still a matter of debate, and it's possible that the religion goes even further back. We also don't know much about the details of Zoroaster's life or where he lived. Most of the little that we do know comes from the Avesta, a collection of Zoroastrian religious scriptures. Zoroaster's family belonged to a nomadic pastoralist society, and his name Zarathustra, which translates to owner of old or gray camels, reflects this lifestyle. It seems that Zoroaster was a priest of the ancient Iranian religion, but when he was in his 30s, he began to have visions from Ahura Mazda, the supreme god. Rather than try to overthrow the existing polytheistic religion, Zoroaster tried to reform it on the basis of existing social and economic values. When he tried to spread his new ideas, he faced opposition and hostility from those who defended the old religious practices and societal norms. After many years of preaching, Zoroaster finally won the support of King Vishtaspa, also known as Histaspes, who embraced Zoroastrianism and helped spread the new faith. Little is known about Zoroaster's death. According to some later Zoroastrian traditions, Zoroaster was killed in his late 70s by a foreign invader in a temple. Under the Achaemenid Empire, particularly King Cyrus the Great, Zoroastrianism became the state religion and flourished. This continued under subsequent Persian empires, including the Parthian and Sasanian empires, spreading its influence throughout the region. Regardless of how little we know about Zoroaster, what we do know is that he was a visionary who changed his world. His ideas emphasized monotheism, which was a significant shift from the polytheistic religions that were prevalent at the time. What's more, Zoroastrianism also laid the foundation for many concepts that would become central to the Abrahamic religions, namely Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. We'll talk about that in detail further on. Zoroaster's teachings, which were revealed to him in a series of visions from Ahura Mazda, the supreme god of the religion, can be found in the Avesta, the primary collection of sacred texts of Zoroastrianism. Written in an old form of the Persian language known as Avestan, the Avesta isn't a single book, but a compilation of various texts that were written over many centuries. This includes the Gathas, which are 17 hymns believed to be composed by Zoroaster himself. The Gathas are at the core of the Zoroastrian faith. So, what exactly did Zoroaster preach? Zoroastrianism is all about the worship of one god, Ahura Mazda, who represents wisdom. The religion also introduced the concepts of dualism, depicting the eternal battle between the forces of good and evil. Good is represented by the spirit Serpenta Menu, and evil is symbolized by Angra Mainyu, both of which are under Ahura Mazda. This dualistic worldview is the basis for the fundamental ethical principle of Zoroastrianism, the constant battle between good and evil. Those who practice the faith are encouraged to be active participants in this battle, choosing the path of righteousness over the path of falsehood. This ability to choose is one of the unique aspects of Zoroastrianism. It emphasizes free will. Followers are taught that they have the power and responsibility to choose between good and evil in their thinking, speaking, and actions, a trio of principles often summarized as good thoughts, good words, and good deeds. You can choose your path, but there will be consequences for your choices. This brings us to Zoroastrian eschatology, which was unique for its time. Eschatology is defined as the part of theology concerned with death, judgment, and the final destiny of the soul and of humankind. In Zoroastrianism, this includes beliefs in a future savior, a final judgment, and the eventual triumph of good over evil. After death, an individual's soul is judged based on their life deeds, with the virtuous granted a place in heaven and the wicked condemned to hell. While it's true that there have always been variations of heaven and hell even before Zoroastrianism, these were vague and not emphasized as places of reward and punishment based on ethical conduct. An important point to note is that Zoroastrians are often called fire worshippers, but this is a misunderstanding of their religious practices. In Zoroastrianism, fire isn't worshipped as a god, but rather revered as a physical representation or symbol of the divine, specifically of the wisdom of Ahura Mazda. Fire serves as a medium through which spiritual insight and wisdom are gained. In Zoroastrian fire temples, a sacred fire is kept continuously burning by the priests, representing the eternal presence of Ahura Mazda, righteousness, and truth. The fire is also a symbol of cosmic order and the light of wisdom that drives away the darkness of chaos and ignorance. It's sacred because of its purifying qualities, burning away evil and destruction. This reverence for purity extends to the environment, leading to a strong tradition of environmental stewardship. As some have said, Zoroastrianism is a very ecologically aware religion, which has led to some commentators calling it the first green movement. But what's most interesting is Zoroastrianism's impact on the development of the three Abrahamic religions, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. The concepts of monotheism, heaven and hell, a Messiah, final judgment, and resurrection, all central to Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, have roots in Zoroastrian beliefs. But how did Judaism become influenced by Zoroastrianism? Scholars believe that this occurred during the Babylonian exile in the 6th century BCE. It was Cyrus the Great, a Zoroastrian, who liberated the Jewish people from Babylon and allowed them to return to their homeland. He even supported them in rebuilding their temple. This interaction between Zoroastrians and Jews likely led to an exchange and incorporation of theological ideas. And as the Jewish religion was remade after the catastrophe of the exile, these Zoroastrian teachings began to filter into the Jewish religious culture. This, in turn, influenced Christianity and Islam. But it's also likely that as Islam expanded into Persia, there was considerable interaction between Muslims and Zoroastrians. So, how exactly did Zoroastrianism impact the Abrahamic religions? Let's take a look at several significant ideas that may have come from the ancient Persian religion. Monotheism. While Judaism was already trending towards monotheism, the strict monotheistic belief system of Zoroastrianism, with Ahura Mazda as the supreme deity, may have helped crystallize Jewish monotheistic belief. This is further reflected in Christianity and Islam. Angels and demons. The Zoroastrian cosmology includes various spiritual beings, such as angels and demons. These concepts likely influenced the development of angelic and demonic beings in the Abrahamic faiths. The Jewish and Christian idea of a personal guardian angel may also have been inspired by the Zoroastrian figure of the Fravashi, the divine guardian spirit of each individual human being. Dualism. Zoroastrianism presents a dualistic universe, constantly torn between good and evil. This cosmic struggle influenced the concept of good and evil in Abrahamic religions, particularly the dichotomy between God and Satan. Eschatology. Zoroastrian beliefs in a savior, final judgment, and an end-time renovation of the world have parallels in the messianic, apocalyptic, and resurrection themes found in Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Heaven and hell. Zoroastrianism has clearly defined notions of heaven and hell based on moral and ethical actions in one's life. Similar concepts of an afterlife, including divine judgment, are central in the Abrahamic faiths. Before the exile and Persian contact, Jews believed that souls of the dead went to a boring Hades-like place called Sheol. However, there's a marked change after the exile, where the idea of a moralized afterlife, with heavenly rewards for the good and hellish punishment for the evil, begin to appear in Judaism. Another interesting note is that one of the words for heaven in the Bible is paradise. It comes from the ancient Iranian words paradisa, meaning enclosed garden. It's one of the very few definite Persian loanwords in the Bible. Satan. The Zoroastrian figure of Angra Mainyu, the destructive spirit, is often seen as a precursor to the figure of Satan in the Abrahamic religions. The similarities between Zoroastrianism and the Abrahamic religions are just too glaring to ignore, yet many believers of the Abrahamic religions may not readily acknowledge such influences. So, Zoroastrianism doesn't often get the credit that it deserves. The arrival of Islam in Persia in the 7th century marked the decline of Zoroastrianism as a major religion. Many Zoroastrians fled to India to escape religious persecution, becoming known as Parsis. The small community of Zoroastrians mainly reside in Iran and India, with significant diaspora in North America, the UK, and Australia. Zoroastrianism is only followed by about 100,000 people globally, and the numbers continue to decline. Yet the concepts it introduced, revolutionary during their inception, continue to form the bedrock of many belief systems and societies today. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. It helps the mysterious algorithm do its thing so we can continue making more videos like it. Thanks for watching.